And welcome back to my channel. Today I am at my local park doing a stroller walk with my little gremlin, and I figured I'd take you guys along with me and tell you about my third trimester and a little bit about my birth story. So won't get into too much detail, don't worry, it won't be gross. We've already done a couple laps and gotten a couple miles in, so I'm just taking a little rest right now, and I'll tell you a little bit about my symptoms that last trimester. So I did my DECA fit around 27 weeks, right at the beginning of my third and into my second, and then after that I got really bad heartburn and I started feeling that, especially when I was doing like burpees, the dead ball shoulder overs, things like that, and it got really uncomfy. But I also started having some sciatica issues and massive, I think I talked about this in my last video, in my second trimester, was massive shin splints and calf cramping and things like that, so that was really uncomfy. But then after that, he went head down about 34 weeks, and that was causing a lot of lightning crotch and Braxton Hicks and things, so not too fun. And of course, the biggest symptom I had to deal with was obviously minimal or limited mobility. So getting around the belly, trying to stretch and like put on my shoes, take the stairs was hard, things like that were just a little bit more rough because either the belly got in the way or I got winded a lot faster. So it was a lot of zone 2 cardio that last month, which gets into my training. So obviously with training, things had to ramp down a little bit in the last trimester. I went from running at the DECA fit to just jogging a little bit, power walking, things like that. Because of those shin splints and Charlie horses, it got really bad. And then by halfway through my third trimester, I was just walking short distances, not doing a whole lot. But I was still working and still lifting at the gym and things like that all the way through. Literally the day we checked into the hospital, I was at the gym that morning on the treadmill. So I was still doing things all the way through the end of my pregnancy, and I was super, super proud of that. That was my goal always in the beginning, and to be able to actually have completed that with this pregnancy was a big deal. Don't know if that'll happen in future pregnancies. We'll have to wait and see. We want at least one more, so we'll find out, I guess, later in a few years. But as far as lifting goes, I pretty much had to modify for the belly, obviously. Plank positions just became incline plank things. Instead of barbells, I opted for dumbbells, things like that. Kettlebells were my best friends. I loved kettlebell work that last month. And then cables and stuff, resistance bands were still great. So I really didn't have to modify too much. It was just little things here and there. And of course, taking the weight down too, that was a big deal. I was only lifting, 50-60% near the end. I probably could have gone a little bit heavier, but I didn't feel like I needed to, honestly. I felt really comfortable and happy at the 60%, where I wasn't pushing myself too far and I wasn't over fatiguing myself for the rest of the day, but I also, was still able to maintain what I had. Ooh, that's terrible with the sun behind me. Hey. And they ended up having to induce around 37 weeks, right at 37 weeks actually, because he ended up being on the small side. So he was below the 5th percentile, and that was just the medical advice that we got from 3 separate doctors, was to take him early because they were afraid he wouldn't grow those last 3 weeks in the womb. So we got him out, and it's been great since then. He's doubled in size since birth, and it's been 2 months now. So that was really exciting to get that report, but he started out at 5 pounds 2 ounces, and the induction was not so fun, I will say. It was 2 days long, 48 hours from start of induction to actually having him. The first full day was all natural contractions, trying to dilate and things like that, and it just never worked. So anyway, day 2 they really ramped things up and got more aggressive with their tactics, and we were able to dilate, which was good. But that second day we also kicked in the Pitocin, and things got a lot spicier that second day. So speaking of spicy, funny story, during my second round of IV pain meds, I went like super loco crazy, and I had the funniest little rant to my husband. Apparently I was talking all about Toucan Sam, Fruit Loops, and I was talking about Pop-Tarts and box tops and soccer balls and all this stuff from my childhood, right? And anyway, So because of that, my brain was not, you know, functioning well. And I was like, ooh, these contractions are getting spicy. Or that's what I thought I said. Instead, I said, wow, these CrossFits are getting savory. So that was the funniest thing ever. Or in birth, just know that your CrossFits get savory. And I chose like the worst day to film out here because it is very not overcast. It is very bright, sunny. There's lots of shadows. So apologies, you're just gonna have to work with me today. But overall, I mean, the birth process wasn't painless. It wasn't smooth. It wasn't easy by any stretch of the means. But I definitely know that without training throughout my pregnancy, it would have been so much harder, and I would have tapped for my epidural a lot sooner, and I know it would have just been a much more painful experience for me. So I'm really glad that I had all of the training that I did through pregnancy that got me to that point, even though I had 48-hour labor, 2 hours of pushing at the end. You know, it was not great, but at the same time, it could have been worse. So I was very, very blessed that I was able to have him the way I wanted to. I did not want a C-section, and I was able to avoid that with the training and with, you know, the doctors that I had. The doctors and nurses were all phenomenal, super, super happy with them. And we got a happy, healthy baby. So I know that was a very brief overview of my birth story. It was a lot longer than I wanted, but at the same time, we've had 2 months now with our beautiful baby boy, and I am over the moon in love with him, and so is my husband. So anyway, we've just been super blessed by it, and I hope that if you followed me for this pregnancy series, that you have enjoyed hearing about what my training looked like throughout pregnancy. I'm curious what yours look like. If you are a pregnant lady or have trained while you're pregnant, let me know what it was like. What was your experience like? Drop those in the comments below, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Yeah, there you go. Bye.